Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today we're going to be working on the letter O for the hashtag ABC April 2025 challenge hosted by Margaret at 7 Plaza and Crafty by Tony. Both links are in the description below. They also have links in their Ko-fi account for the prompt list that they have so lovingly, generously created. Now, the prompts for O are one page wonder, over the page, oxides, an organizer, and today I've decided not to go rogue, and I do have a one-page wonder, something I've been playing with for a couple weeks now, and I finally think I got it nailed down. Now, I'm not going to say that this is completely my idea, because you know how that goes, that there's something out there very close probably, because there's nothing new in the world, just a reimagination of things. But hopefully, if you've not seen it somewhere else, it'll inspire you to make some of these yourself. So let me get the stuff and let's get to it. All right, so my one-page wonder involves starting with a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper. In this case, I have used for this one double-sided. I'm going to try it with a single-sided one also during this video. But what it leads to is this folded item, which has a nice tall huge pocket in there. It does have a smaller pocket in here and then another smaller pocket in here. And technically, the way I've glued it, you could put something in here as well as back here. But I probably would just do that one and that one and that one. Okay, and then with that, when the cuts, it also leaves two of these, which would be great side page on side tucks on pages, corner pages. You can either do the downside of a page or the upside of a page, and it also leaves one square that could be used as a journal card. So one 12 by 12 leads to, I'm going to call it a triple pocket. And technically could also, being how it gets glued down, could be a side tuck too. So 4 or 5 pockets, very versatile, and 2 side tucks or up tucks and a journal card. All right, let's get a fresh sheet and get this cut. Okay, so I am going to start with 12 by 12 papers that are double-sided. So this one has this print on this side and then this print on this side. Now, I wish I had a 12 by 12 scoreboard. I do not, but it is doable with a small one. So we're going to go for it. All right, so since it's 12 by 12, we are going to make it into thirds. So we're going to want to score it 4 inches. Do my best not to go, I've done that before, I've gone past this and kind of made a hole in there. And flip it over, and we're going to score it at 4 for that. And we're going to do the same for this other side, scoring at 4 and scoring at 4. Okay. All right, so the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to score this other direction to make the pocket flips up. Pocket flip ups. Now, originally I did this one at, I think, I should have done it at 4, and I think I did it at 3.5. So I'm going to change it back to, and I'm going to do it at 4. So we're going to score 4, 2 directions, and then, so that is going to be folded in this way. And then the part that I want to flip up, which I think is going to be this side, because it's not reversible, because it's going to get flipped up. This is going to look weird upside down, I think. So we're going to score this side at 4. And 4. Doesn't seem like I could feel it on the other side for this part of 4, so I'm gonna push it one more time so I could feel it. Okay. All right, that will be it for the scoring. And we're gonna go ahead and fold. I'm gonna fold up the first 4, give it a nice crease, and then we're gonna fold this 4. And then we're going to fold this 4. There we go. Now since they're both scored at 4, they're really kind of close together. Kind of got to work it into itself so it doesn't catch too much. But I haven't found a problem where it doesn't work. Look at that. Okay, so now we've got everything scored. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut this at an angle. Now there's 2 ways that you can do it. You can just randomly go and go from this corner down to here, somewhere you want to cut. I'm going to figure out where it would fold naturally. Now if you don't want a side corner tuck, you could definitely go ahead and just glue that in. This is such thick cardstock paper that I really like the fact that it is thick, that it can be used as a corner tuck. So I'm going to get my cutter out. And I'm going to cut that off. Okay. And we're going to do, instead of folding it, I'm just going to throw a little mark at how far that one's going to go to, right about there. Okay, so I'm going to take it from that mark that I see to the fold at the top, and there it is. There we go. Now these do not have to be the exact same size for this because they overlap. If one is a little bit shorter than the other, I don't think you're going to be able to tell the difference on that. Okay, all right, so we've got 2 now corner things. They're reversible, so I can do 1 of each. I could technically even stack them on a page to make 2 separate corners. Lots of options with those pieces. Okay, all right, so the next thing we're going to do is, after we do that, this is going to flip up to make the pocket, but it's really chunky, so we need to get rid of some stuff. So I want to figure out which one I'm going to want to keep up as this pocket. And I think I'm going to want that, keep that one as a journal card. So what we need to do is get rid of we're going to get rid of that end piece. Now technically you could get rid of any square you want, and then the other 2 are going to end up folding up. So if I wanted to get rid of this one, I could use that one. But I think I'm going to want to use this one as the journal card. So I'm going to cut this one off, and I'm going to cut it as square as I can along the fold line exactly, just to have in the future, like I said, the journal card. Okay, so now I've got that journal card. All right, and now I need to cut this up this line just to release it from its partner. Okay, so we have these 2. Now we're going to have 2 flip ups. Now depending on which one we want to have, this is going to flip down, so it doesn't really matter. Which one goes first, because it is it's going to flap down, so we're going to have it like that. Okay. Now to glue this, we glue that, and this, like I said, this is going to be flapped down. We could score it if we want, or we could just do this and fold it. Now before I do that, I'm going to want to put the thumb notches in there. So we're going to go ahead, and this one's going to be a little tricky, not tricky, but it's thicker, so it takes a little bit more of a squeeze. And we're going to do our best to line this up with that one and have that there. All right, so for gluing, oops. All right, so for gluing, we are going to start by gluing this arm down. And again, it could go either side. This could have gone first and that could have gone on top because both can flip up, but flip that over. And we're going to go ahead and glue this side. You do not have to glue the bottom on this one because when we fold the pages up or the bottoms up, it locks it in. All right, so for this one, we're going to just glue. And we're going to glue. And for this one, get that nice and tight. I'm going to glue this part down. Now technically, if you wanted to, you could leave that as a flip up and be able to have a journaling spot if you're so inclined, or glue it down. And now we're going to glue this one up. Okay. And there you go. Voila. And card. Well, like I said, pocket there, and pocket there. All right, so let's show one that is not double-sided to show how that one works. All right, so we're going to do the same scoring on this. And I don't think there's really a top or bottom on this, so we're just going to go ahead and score from here. All right, so we got 4. And the other side 4. And then, like I said, if we knew which side we wanted to have it flip up, if it mattered, we would put that at the bottom. But these look pretty well reversible. So we're just going to score from this side and score from this side. Oops. I think it slipped off its track. Now we're just gonna make sure we got that. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do this one slightly different. All right, I'm not sure what happened, but it appears the video stopped itself. Phone wasn't full. So I have no idea what happened on that. So I was in the middle of doing this. This was my original, and I showed this one on camera. But I was in the middle of doing this one, and I made 2 other ones. So I'm going to show you how I did them and kind of talk about the different steps that were involved, even though I will not be able to show you. But I think you'll get it since we did do the full breakdown of doing this. All right, so for this one, this was the white on the background, but what I did is after I did the 2 folds, this one that folded up had the white on the inside. So I decided to cover it up with one of the pieces that came from the cutouts, that came from the inside here. So I just covered that up with, actually, from this one. I thought that went well together. Now, when this one gets flipped up, I ended up flipping it back down, and it showed the outside back again. For this one, I cut the inside square, not the outside squares. When you cut the inside square, when you flip it down, you get the outside of it, and when you cut one of the outside squares, then you get 2 of the insides. Hope that makes sense. All right, so for this one, when I folded it down, I had this, but then I still had some white down there. So I found another piece of scrapbook paper and I added that to it. I ended up wrapping it around the pocket and created the pocket to be able to go in there and in there and same in there. And I had discussed in the video that if I wanted to add some sort of paper to that one, cover that up, probably best to do it beforehand, but you can, after all is said and done, of course those are too big, you can glue some paper in there, use some ink, make it non-white, but in the end, when you go to add a journal tag, it's probably going to cover it up mostly anyway, so I'm not too worried about it being white. But for this version, when I had my 3 flaps up, we cut the center square out, and when you flap it in and flap it up, you get white. When you flap it in and flap it up and then flap it back down, you get the outside. But to cover the white, there is options to leave it blank or cover it. So we did that. All right, so the next one I did is this one, and this was 2-sided, very neutral. Had some words on one side, and then the other side was kind of a ledger script page. For this one, I ended up cutting the one of the outside cards for it. This was the outside card, and I chose this one because I liked the splooching on there and the dots on here. So that's why I decided to cut the outside one. So when I cut the outside one, this side ended up flipping up and being just blank. And then when the center flipped up, it was, well, since technically it flipped up this way, it was upside down. And instead of folding it this way to have double lines, I ended up folding it inside. So this is folded inward to create this pocket instead of flipping it outside. So this is the same process as this, where if I would have flipped it out, I would have had the insides for this, but instead I flipped it inward so that they were distinct panels. So that it was another option for this to do when you cut the outside panel versus the inside panel. Okay, so, but I like that one because very neutral, and it's going to be easy to throw some sort of focal point on there, and the rest is just going to fit it into any journal because it is so neutral. Okay. And then the last one I did was also a double-sided one, but this had 2 very distinct prints, as you can tell. One side had pencils, and the other side had some lines and script, but then it had this section of fun dots, etc. So when I cut this one, I decided to cut the centerpiece out. Because if I cut the centerpiece out, then the flip down for the outside, for the bottom pocket, is going to be what the outside was. So it took me a few turns to realize which was good, and this ended up being, to be able to go, it's kind of hard to tell because this was the inside. This was that side, and then this pocket was this side where the cut is. Once I was able to fold this up and notch it, and then this side came in and folded up and folded back down again. The difference I did on this one versus this one is I folded it all the way down to leave this space a little bit more viewable, I guess you would call it. If I wouldn't have folded it down, there would have been a little bit of, as you can see, this was here, there would have been just some lines here, and it would have been folded here, which would have been fine, but I didn't feel that was necessary to do. So I did fold it all the way down, and just shows that. Now, one other thing I could have done was not glue that flap down. Could have just glued the 2 sides and leave it open to, since this would have been similar to this and been a little bit more of a journaling spot. For that, but I decided to glue it down. So there it is. Hopefully it makes sense on how to do these, even though I didn't get to show you the other 2 that I did, but since I was able to show this one in full, that you're going to be able to follow along. And I did say in this video that this is so simple because it was just scores at 4, 4, and 4. A couple folds, snip up the 2 center lines, and either cut out the center piece so that when you fold it down, you've got the outside coming out, or cut one of the outside pieces and you got 2 insides on there. So lots of options, just depending on how you cut it. You just want to play with it and see what your best version would be. But I think there is no wrong whatsoever way to do this. I love them. I love each and every version themselves. And then as well as with the 12 by 12s, you get this. You also do end up with a whole bunch of lovely journal cards, as well as a whole bunch of corner pockets. So lots of fun from 12 by 12 sheets. Gotta love a good one-page wonder. Okay, well, hopefully you enjoyed that video, even though it was abruptly stopped. But hopefully I was able to explain how to go ahead and go make more of your own. Well, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for stopping by. And as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.